Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and today we get patch 4.0.0.3 with regards to kind of fixing some things. Major things that you've got for Wellspring specifically, the biggest one is going to be the bad luck protection added for weapon drops and Deepsight mods in Wellspring. Wellspring has 4 specific weapons that you're going to need to farm in there for crafting. Some people have issues getting the weapon, or some people have issues getting like 100 of the weapon and not one Deepsight. So hopefully this is a little better. I've got the auto rifle and the grenade launcher done, so I won't really be testing this hard until Saturday and Sunday when the bow, specifically the bow, I definitely want to farm, and then the sniper rifle as well. Those will come back Saturday and Sunday. But theoretically, those should be more reliable both in the weapon itself and then the Deepsight version, so you can eventually unlock the crafting pattern. So that hopefully is a little bit better. They've also fixed one to where it's more likely you're not going to get the same powerful and Pinnacle slot multiple times in a row from the Wellspring completion. That does seem a good thing. Few changes to Gambit. You've got an issue where level advantages were enabled. Not entirely sure if that was all the time or sometimes, but hopefully that's gone. A little bit of the repeatable bounties have been lowered, which is good. It's already not a lot of people playing Gambit. You don't need to make those bounties more difficult. The Invader kill is lowered by 7% of the Primeval heal, so it'll go from 27%, which could literally heal it to full, down to a cap of about 20%, so 80 if you do 4 kills. Theoretically, you're not going to heal them in full, but if it's 20% left, they're about to finish them anyway. Altars of Reflection. This is kind of a big one. I think even Travis had this issue, where Altars of Reflection was not showing up properly for all characters, because you've got a couple different ones you can kind of play and repeat through if you want to. Those had an issue showing up for some people, so if you haven't seen those, that should definitely be working a bit more correctly. In the Throne World, people getting stuck in certain places, AI spawn points have been adjusted where stuff would kind of spawn a lot more frequently than usual. It was nice for weapon kills, but that'll be working a little bit more as intended. The Deepsight chest not appearing as they would intended, that was something. I don't think they've fixed the farm yet for Deepsight level 3. That's probably one of those things that they're probably just going to try and not have happen, to be honest with you, so that was a short-lived thing. Players are now able to respawn properly after being respawned from a turn-back message. Rally flag and spawn points have been adjusted, now located at the tops of the stairs. That's fine. Psyops Battlegrounds. Reward chests, they apparently were disintegrating, so those things should be staying around. Basically pick up those chests quick so you don't miss them, but that should be working better. The second Lucent Portal Wizard will now spawn with all proper shields, fixing the issue of players could soft lock the activity by taking down the wizard when it spawned unprotected. Apparently just some bugs that they were working on tweaking. The Vox Obscura mission, if you haven't seen my guide, anybody can solo that mission once you're up to about 1550. So if you haven't yet, and you haven't got your dead messenger from the Vox Obscura mission, check out my guide so you guys can actually get that exotic. But they updated the Triumph and also the progression for the exotic Sparrow as well. Couple UI tweaks, nothing too substantial per se. You know, like the season 16 and 30th anniversary of items had the wrong watermarks on them. Mostly little stuff here that I could see in general, but overall nothing too drastic. Little, like, fixing the issue where the player is unable to interact with the sockets for 2 to 4 seconds. Like, there's definitely some slow menu issues, and for sure feel it on PC. I don't know if the other consoles are probably feeling it, but menus and things definitely feel slow right now. Hopefully that gets tweaked to be a little bit better. Gameplay and investment, though, these are some of the big ones. The armor mods for glaives are now dropping from the world, and Ada 1 theoretically could sell them. So armor mods for glaives are new. We don't have a lot of them besides what is in the artifact right now. So your reserves, your ammo finders, your scavengers, and that type of thing hopefully will now start dropping and also be sold by Ada 1. I'm not probably going to do, you know, a video if Ada 1 is just selling glaive mods all the time, because that's just something those will probably come through every so often. And you're going to get some from world drops too, but those should start to fill out your collections in a much safer time. Let's see, tracking rockets have been adjusted after being found too dominant against other Guardians when invading Gambit. This includes Grand Overture missiles. That was probably one of the reasons it was turned off. Tracking against AI enemies remains unchained. That's always a good thing that, you know, AI, like, against combatants is fine. Making Guardians a little harder to kill I'm generally okay with. The Ikelos SNG had basically the exotic buff that has been fixed. Wardcliff Coil has been fixed as well. Grand Overture's ability to generate more than intended ammo when switching weapons. Kind of one of those weird weapon switching things. And Actium Morrig, that's been fixed. That's probably the reason it was turned off for the raid. We've also got the Grand Overture reserves up to 40, so you get a total of 60 now. So that actually gives that thing a much longer lifespan. And then I don't know if that takes into account like machine gun reserves and things of that nature, but the fact that you've got more reserves for that thing is honestly going to give it a little more life. Going through 2 clips and kind of being done seemed a bit quick for that, so that's actually a really good one to see. You've got a couple ornaments that are being funky. Enhanced Golden Tricorn basically would activate on ranged melee kills. It's hard enough to get Golden Tricorn. I don't know why ranged melee kills are, you know, one of those things that they're worried about, but so be it. Weapon crafting, there was an issue when you were reshaping, the quest objective could be bypassed. I guess you really need to actually shape that thing correctly. The Enigma Glaive could basically get reshaped for nothing. That I haven't had really too much experience on. End of campaign weapon progression for campaign missions is less if you do it on normal difficulty. So if you do it on normal, you're not going to burn through weapon crafting progression in like a couple of minutes, because I think it was the second mission people could literally load into a checkpoint with, you know, one character at the end of the one where you meet Finch for the first time and just like 2 minutes later. So I think that's probably why they did that. Overflow has been removed from enhanced pulse monitoring following unintentional overflowing basically to no limit. So they've pretty much removed overflow. So I don't know if enhanced pulse monitor lost a ton of its value, if it's really there at all. So be careful if you're doing anything in enhanced perk like pulse monitor. If you like that perk, be careful. Check and see if this is something they fix or tweak later on. Enhanced 1-2 bunch now only requires 10 to 12 pellets instead of all of them, which is, what is it, 7 on the outside, 4 on the inside, 12. So now it's like you could probably miss a couple of pellets and still get the full buff. They fixed an issue where the reforges of the Osteostriga, which is not spelled correctly, Catalyst would ask for the full Catalyst cost again. So if you do want to modify your Osteostriga, you should be able to do that. Hopefully not at ridiculous cost now. Ambitious Assassin now adds a reload stat. I don't know what it did before, but that is what it's doing now. Fixed an issue where the tier 3 Deepsight chest would only appear once per account. Hopefully you'll be able to do that more frequently. The refined Qualicore quest, if you guys haven't seen that one yet, that's just where you find one of those Deepsights and then you kind of follow the trail like you did with the Season of the Hunt Cryptolith stuff. It's kind of like that one, and then you follow 3 different spawns. I've done that before. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of this thing that you can do for about 500 Finch 500 Finch reputation over the course of about a week. You can either farm that on an every daily basis, or you can do like find the random events. It does take a little while to go through the full quest though, so it's not anything that's exactly getting farmed, but hopefully it should work correctly now. Let's see, you got fixed an issue. There was a standardized Void Weaken debuff was overriding Divinity's custom weakening debuff. I think the Void Weaken from like the grenades is 15%, and Divinity's supposed to be 30%. Divinity was getting overridden if you throw a Void Grenade, so now you can throw a Void Grenade, get some damage on there, and you're not going to make Divinity worse, which is a good thing for the raids. That was something that got used a lot. Fixed an issue where the Ward of Dawn was granting an unintentional melee damage boost. I don't know if people are abusing that with like throwing hammer and stuff, which I'm sure I could see. Reduced melee recharge while invisible and wearing Graviton Forfeit in PvP activities, including Crucible and Gambit. So melee recharge isn't apparently going to be crazy with regards to Graviton Forfeit. Fixed an issue where hitting Deadfall's trap with a throwable grenade or smoke bomb would cause it to disappear. I feel like, I don't know if I've done that much, but every so often apparently you could just lose what you throw, which isn't great. Seasonal challenges, fix an issue where the Apex Armor seasonal challenge that requires players to masterwork any piece of armor would complete when players change the element to their already masterwork. So you're going to actually have to masterwork a piece of armor for real. Spin that golf ball and it works. Some Xbox One X HDRs. I know Xbox might have weird HDR issues, so you might check and see if that works for all of them now, but maybe not. Other than that, basically just general fixes. Focusing, which is going to be, think of focusing for Gambit and Trials, that type of thing, is now 10,000 Glimmer and 50 Legendary Shards. A little expensive on the shards. Glimmer's not too bad, but apparently there was an issue where it costed more than expected for Gambit, so that's kind of been fixed. You've got an issue where the weekly limit for Ascendant Alloy purchases was not resetting at Rahool. Hopefully that is there. They're also going to add a one-time purchase of 2 Ascendant Alloys for the cost of 1. So make sure you go buy this. If it's literally just once per lifetime, you may as well just knock this out early. I think it's going to be 400 Legendary Shards. If you don't have them now, well, then this one will be waiting for you, a 2-for-1 special one-time offer later on. I wish that was like a once-a-week thing, since you could farm them, but once a week you could buy more. Rahool's destination materials are now Sold for stacks of 5 and 1 legendary shard, matching 5 spiders exchange rates. I don't know what they were, if they were more expensive. But yeah, that's what they used to be. Stack of 5 for 1 legendary shard. I don't know what they were, but yeah, that's fixed. Fixed niche should allow weapon I saw weapon telemetry as I was confused. That's a glitch, so it's not there anymore. And you can delete them. You don't need them anymore. A little bit of localization for text that overlapped. Fixed niche where the exotic quest name for the Grand Overture Catalyst quest would show up blank after the first step was completed. Hopefully that's fixed. Engine, then this right here. Various crash and stability fixes implemented across all platforms. Hopefully that's actually real, but the big things are Rahool should at least sell one every week. Buy that every week from him for sure. If you were having issues with regards to certain activities, hopefully that's a little bit better. The glaive mods should be dropping, which is good. But the biggest one, like Altars of Reflection, I know is kind of broken, which was a major piece. And then also the Wellspring stuff, the bad luck protection is in there. Those are the major pieces in this patch. Obviously, we have the TWAB coming later. Podcast is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the YouTube channel right here. So come hang out. We've got Last Lady Legend. She spent like almost 40 hours in the raid this weekend, so she's already an expert. So between all of us, we spent a lot of time in the raid, so lots to talk about in Vow of the Disciple this weekend. So come hang out. If the TWAB has anything spicy or interesting in there, you'll expect another video from me later today. If you guys enjoyed this one, drop a like, leave a comment, find me on Twitter, find me on Twitch, Ebontis on both of those. I'll be streaming some part of today maybe, and then over on YouTube. If you guys are awesome, hit that subscribe button, hit that alert bell. Those of you already have, you can join if you're a channel member or a Patreon subscriber. You guys are extra awesome. Thank you for everything. I'll see you soon.